good day, everyone. Welcome, a most warm welcome on this beautiful, glorious day. Thank y'all so much for joining me. Today's recipe, y'all know I multitask, right? But today's recipe, I'm honoring my mother on her birthday. I'm honoring my dad in some of the ingredients that I've put into the birthday cake I've made, and the birthday cake is for me. It is my birthday today, yay! A big 66, and so proud and thrilled that I'm here. But we're getting ready to move the party inside and cut this cake. You know, this cake was just a way to honor my mother again on her, I think would have been her 98th birthday. Would have been, unfortunately, but I hope that you stick around. It's just a little bit, using a box cake mix, throwing a bunch of stuff in, and I kind of went weird with decorating it, so it's just one of those things, one of those days you just kind of have to go with. So without further ado, let's get started with this cake. I'm ready to take one taste of this cake. I'm going to start with this. I've got 1 cup of fresh raspberries, 2 tablespoons of granulated sugar, and 1 tablespoon of just water. I'm going to just cook these down a little bit. Add my water and my sugar. I'm going to bring these up to, just a very slight cook. I think you can see there's, the liquid will come out of the raspberries. I'm going to cook this up, medium low, and get them bubbling and, jam-like for 5 to 7 minutes. So I wanted to show y'all really quickly. It actually took me about 3 to 4 minutes just to bring this up to a good, simmer thing. I'm going to show you. I don't want to cook it too hard, but this is kind of what you're looking for as far as cooking, for about 5 to 7 minutes. I wanted y'all to see how I have another look-see. I've removed it from the heat for sure. Now, if you have an aversion to seeds, raspberry seeds, you may want to forego this, but I'm going to go with it and go from there. But we're going to start on the batter. I'm going to quickly go over the ingredients list for this particular cake. Now, I could have made this from scratch, and I certainly am not shy about doing that, but I wanted to make this a little bit easier. But what I have here is a white, I think you can see, great value cake mix, and I read some kind of an online article about which cake mix tasted best as far as white, yellow, chocolate. And this great value white was their thumbs up. I've got, I believe it's a 3.4 ounce instant white pudding. I chose white chocolate because why not? I've got a cup of coconut milk. Now, not cream of coconut, but coconut milk. A half a cup of coconut. The raspberry that we cooked, cooled off. I've got about this. Now, I weighed this. This is 1 ounce of coconut, 100% organic coconut. This, to me, looks like about 1/3 of a cup. So this is 1 ounce. I've got 5 egg whites. You do not have to beat these till they're stiff peaks, but I am going to beat these until they're very well mixed and lightly foamy. And I think that is about it for the cake. I'm going to bake these, and one reason I'm using, and I'm doctoring up a cake mix I don't want to make just the cake mix because I'm going to be adding, once I pour, and I'll show it to y'all, but once I pour and divide it into 2 layers, I'm going to dot this and marble this throughout the cake batter before I bake it. And, you know, just one other side note that I've got, I do have some seedless raspberry jam here and a brush. Once these are baked, I'm going to turn them out, and I'll bring y'all back, but I'm going to turn these out and just give a light brush of both layers, and that's just to kind of reinforce this. I do have some vanilla extract here, some coconut extract, and I'm going to add just a smidge, just a wee smidge of butter extract. And what a wee smidge is, maybe 1/4 or 1/8 of a teaspoon. But I'm going to get started on this. And one side note I forgot to mention, when you're starting to mix your batter up, melt this lightly in the microwave before you add it. And I wanted to show you where I am on my egg whites. This is what I'm doing with this. There's no need to whip this up into stiff peaks, but I did want to add that for the egg yolks that you know you don't want to waste, put them in a container, cover them with a wee bit of water, cover them, put them in the fridge and or freezer, and you'll have eggs for later. So there's no wasting here. I've already added my coconut milk. I've melted my coconut oil as best that I can. You don't want to go crazy with it. I'm going to add my cake mix if I can. Yep. Yay! Woo. It's been an interesting morning. I've been a Butterfingers all morning. And my instant pudding mix. I'm going to add about, this is 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla. And 1/2 teaspoon of coconut. And I do have this butter. It says extract. This is 1/4 teaspoon. I'm going to add about 1/8. I don't want to, just, you know, a few drops. And go ahead and get this mixed up. It's looking really nice, and it smells good, and it hasn't even been in the oven. I've got my oven preheating to 350 degrees, and just bake these off. Like I said, I've got 2 8-inch. That's going to be 30 minutes maybe. I'm going to start checking it 25 minutes because I don't want to overbake this. I'm going to just get these beat off as much as I can. Wow, look at that. What fun. That's okay. I've got 1/2 cup of sweetened coconut. I told y'all it's gonna be one of these days. I mean, it has, before I even started here in the kitchen, I'm dropping things. I've lost I've lost things. I've just misplaced them. And there we are. But what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna divide this up, and I'm going to actually weigh this on my scale to make sure that my layers are as even as possible. And there we are. This is a nice, really thick batter. And I'll be back in a moment. So what I've done, I've made 1 crumb coat. My second coat is on. And I'm going to, you know, just do something a little more creative with this than just one. Let's do this. I have my toasted coconut here. And I'm going to just put this up here. This is toasted coconut and caramel and pecans. Yum. And got that going. I'm going to just kind of push it in just a little bit. I did just do my coat, my second coat, just a moment ago. So I'm hoping that this is going to, you know, kind of get set in there and not fall out. Let's see what we have here. There we go. That's better. And I am back in the kitchen. And oh my goodness, but I have to tell you, this was in the fridge overnight, and with the raspberries, the glaze on that, and they look, I think you can see, they look just absolutely fine. So anytime you want to put some fresh fruit on whatever that is you've got going, then, you know, a little apple jelly, a little raspberry jam. And so without further ado, I am going to go ahead and cut into this. I'm going to take one taste. It's very, very early, but I really do want to taste this. I just don't know which side. Let's see if I can get myself organized. I'm going to take just a wee bit part of this that's on the coconut side. I'm just having a little bit of fun, you know. It's Friday. And it's like my grandfather said, I think you can see through this piece. I'm probably not cutting it large enough, but that's okay. All right, come on. I really, the first piece is always a bear. Set this aside, and I can just see, I should have really cut it a little bit bigger, because you can just see the raspberry. That's a big thumbs up. I'm really glad that I used my buttercream frosting instead of, you know, like a mix or something like that, or something in a tub, because, you know, sometimes even when you're making your own just buttercream frosting, sometimes it can be just too sweet. But this buttercream frosting is not that, it's not that sweet. So, and I think you can see, this came out so nicely. This is a big thumbs up. It's got really good flavor, a slight hint of coconut, a good hint of raspberry. And I'm sure once we get to the other side, there's going to be a little bit of caramel in there too. But you know what? That's okay. I want to thank y'all so much for joining me. I hope that you give this a try. Don't be shy about trying it. It's actually very, very good. Thank you for joining me, and I hope that you subscribe. If you haven't already, I hope that you do, but I want to see y'all here again home at the Hollow. Goodbye, y'all.